One of the highest leverage things I did is I paid a guy who knew how to run Facebook ads. So for example, if I were in a, it's about to be wintertime in most of the US, if there's snow in the area that you're at, you could probably buy a push snowblower for a couple, I don't know what the rate of snowblower is, call it $1,000, right? And you could use a shovel in the beginning and you might be able to do 2, maybe 3, big driveways in a day. Okay. If you have a snowblower, you might be able to do 20. And if you have that, then you just 7x your earning capacity. And so it's a small, like what $1,000 stock is going to 7x your pay? Nothing.
Right.
And so I think people wildly undervalue the active investments where you put a little bit of capital and a lot of time and how much that capital multiplies what you make with your time. And so that's obviously in the physical labor where you have a machine that helps you out. But even on knowledge-based work, one of the highest leverage things I did is I paid a guy who knew how to run Facebook ads. I didn't know how to run them. I had a gym. I knew it okay because I'd looked online and stuff, but I was like, I need to get better at this. And so I went to 3 different agency owners and they all pitched me their services. And I said, honestly, I couldn't afford them. And so I said, what would it take for you? And this is the question. What would it take for you to teach me how to run ads? And I was like, I'll pay you every hour. He's like, I don't sell my time. And I was like, it's America. Everybody sells their time.
Yeah, how much?
Yeah, exactly. What would it take? And he said $750 an hour, which to me was an unbelievable amount of money at the time. And so I said, okay, deal. And I said, but the terms are, I have to have my hands on the computer, not you.
Yeah.
And you need to tell me what to do, and then I have to do it. And then if you change something, I need to understand the decision making behind it.
Why you did that.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it took me 8 sessions with this guy. 8 1-hour sessions.
But it's cheaper than hiring him for 2 months.
Totally. Oh, he asked for $5,000 a month, and I was like, oh my God, I can't afford that. But and every time I would do it, and then I would record it, and then I'd rewatch it a couple of times. I would take notes, and then the next one, I was like the best student ever, right? But by the 6th time I got it, and by the 8th time, I was like, I don't need this guy anymore. I get it. And so that $6,000 investment made me millions of dollars in my life because I knew how to advertise, and I didn't know how to advertise before. I could get leads. I could, and I could call them and close them, bring them to my gyms, and then eventually I showed other gyms how to do the same thing that I did. And so this is the leverage, right? How do you get more for what you put in?
Yes.
And the biggest and best investment that you can make is in your own skill set, because skills are the ultimate hedge against inflation. They're the hedge against currency changes. People are like, what's going to happen to the dollar? Doctors are going to get paid in Seychelles or Bitcoin or US dollars. It doesn't matter. If you have value to exchange, the world will exchange for it.
Yes.
And so that's the big thing that I think people who are starting out miss.
What's the number one skill that people should be investing in to earn more?
Promotion. You need to learn to advertise. So if you think about it in sequence, right? If you start a business, what are the contingencies? If no one knows you exist, no one can buy your stuff. And so you have to first let people know you exist. So it begins with advertising. Now, advertising doesn't mean you have to run paid ads. I say advertise, I define that as letting people know about your stuff. And so you can let people know one-on-one via outreach. So you can DM, you can email, you can phone call, you can knock on doors, and all that's one-on-one. You can make content. You can post on public platforms. You can stand on the sidewalk and shout. It's one-to-many, right? And then the third way you can do is you can run ads. The fourth and kind of like secret or more advanced ways that you can use those to then go get somebody who already has that audience that you want. So get an affiliate to then refer you business. And that's an amazing strategy. But in order to get in touch with those, you reach out one-on-one, you make content, or you run ads. So those are going to be the core things that you're going to be able to do. And so in the beginning, you have to do that to get the first interest. Now, I think where people make a mistake is they then double down on that at that stage. Oh, this worked, I should do more, which is a logical thing to think. But long-term, the product is going to be the thing that's going to allow you to scale really, really big. Now, don't get me wrong. You can make a few $1 million a year, $10 million a year being a really good marketer, being a really good promoter. You get limited at a certain point because you burn through a marketplace because people understand the concept of word of mouth. They're like, yeah, you want to have word of mouth. But what they fail to realize is that negative word of mouth is significantly stronger and more viral. And so all of a sudden, when their advertising stops working or their cost to acquire customers doubles and triples, but the cost on the platform hasn't doubled or tripled, it means that you have an invisible hand that's suppressing your results, which is that somebody who would have bought heard that you're not good or heard that you're even mediocre and just decides not to. And we do this all the time. Like you're like, I was thinking about checking out that restaurant. It's like, I went, and that's it. It's done. Just
Done.
like that. And you would have gone if that person hadn't said anything.
Yes.
I was going to go to that movie. How was it? I mean, it was okay. Done. You're
Not
not going.
going.
Yeah, that's it. And so people overestimate, like, it's so hard to get positive word of mouth, and it's so easy to get negative word of mouth. And that's what suppresses you long term. So in the beginning, you advertise. Then you maintain that level of advertising to continue to iterate the product because you need to get the people in. And this is the unfortunate part, but you bring people in knowing your product's not that good, and you just do the best you can, and you keep making it better and better and better until you get people to stick or get people to come back. And so if you have a membership business, it's obvious you want people to not cancel. If you have a consumable business, like if you sell coffee, you sell Coca-Cola, whatever it is, it's how reoccurring is the revenue. How likely does that person who buys your coffee come back again to buy coffee, whether it's a shop or it's a product, doesn't matter. And so once you know that people are coming back, it means you fix the product sufficiently that now you go back to the advertising and then you double down, you go crazy on it.
If someone only has a few $1,000s a year
Yeah.
extra to spend on something, what's more important for them, to invest it in the stock market or real estate, or to invest in themselves?
You know where I'm going with this one. So my favorite ism that I like is don't invest in the S&P 500. It's invest in the S&Me 500. Because you will get so much more on active income by investing the small amount you have into increasing your earning capacity than you ever will. Like, just think about the dollars here. So let's say that you had $1,000, all right, saved up. If you invest in Apple, whatever, or you invest, like, you'll have a 20% gain this year, a 30% gain this year. Okay, great. So now you have $1,300. But $1,000 can teach you a new lesson or a new skill that can take your earning capacity. Because if you only have $1,000 saved up, you either make very little money or you're not following the first rule, which is you got to spend way less than you make, right? And so if you're on the I don't make a lot of money part, by the way, you can still definitely save more. But if you're on the I don't make a lot of money part, then doubling your earning capacity would, by the end of the year, you might have $30,000 saved up rather than $1,000 or $1,300 in the alternative scenario. It's not even close. It's an order of magnitude. It's not even close. But everyone's afraid of work, and everyone wants to get rich quick, which is why lotteries continue to make money. And so if you can just get out of that basic fallacy that you're somehow going to get lucky, I would rather get rich for sure. And be willing to, like, that's for me. Like, success insurance is extending the time horizon and being willing to learn skills along the way. That's success insurance. Because here, play out the other scenario. If you actually do hit the lottery, you also lose it because you don't have the skills to keep it.
It's true.
So the other path is pure fallacious thinking. It's false. It's a false dream. It's never going to result in wealth. If you get rich quick, you get poor even faster. We've already seen.
Say it again.
If you get rich quick, you get poor even faster.
Why?
Because you don't. So my favorite magic card. Hold on, I'm going to bring it back. My favorite magic card was this card called Burning Wish in Magic the Gathering. And the flavor text on the card said, "She wished for a weapon, but not the skill to wield it." And I always loved that text because I thought about that as business, as money. It's like we wish for money, but not the skill to wield it. Because money is just a potential for exchange. And so if you don't know how to make it, then everything you have is just a nut that's going to go down. Because you also don't know how to multiply it if you got lucky. Because anybody who wants to get rich quick only is relying on luck. You're relying on chance. You're gambling. You're not investing. And so if you want to play the game, and unfortunately, the tweets, the Instagram posts, the whatever, we see someone screenshot when they go from $10,000 to $1.5 million. You just don't see the other 100 people or 1,000 people who put 10,000 and went to $1. And so the idea is, I want to get rich for sure. And the surefire way to get rich, and the reason all these billionaires get up there and they say, hey, just invest in skills. And everyone's like, sure. It's because that's the only thing that protects you. And I come from a country, or my father comes from a country rather, where my family, everything we had was taken from us by the government. And so it's very real that you may have to start over halfway through your life at zero.